On the plains of Africa, predators are everywhere. But what's the most efficient hunter? Surprisingly, it's not lions. Their hunting success rate can be as low as 17%. How about cheetahs with their extreme speed? Not even close. They only catch around half of their prey. Humans? Even with guns, their success rate can be as low as 20%. Surprisingly, the top dog is the wild dog. They may resemble man's best friend, but for their prey, they're its worst nightmare. With an incredible 80% hunt-to-kill conversion rate. So what makes wild dogs Africa's most successful hunters? Magnificent yet menacing. Wild dogs are also known as painted dogs because of their striking coats. In packs of up to 20, they roam the East African savanna, with each pack ruling vast territories the size of Chicago. These nomadic dogs can cover 30 miles each day, hunting prey from small rabbits to huge wildebeest. This pack of 10 lives in the Nankuse Reserve in Namibia. And for the last 5 years, Colette Massier has been learning how these killer canines can catch almost everything they set their teeth on.
They're not the biggest. I mean, a lion, a leopard, is far bulkier, much stronger, weighs a lot more. These guys are slender, they've got skinny little legs that you think can snap like a twig, but they are extremely successful in their hunting.
To reveal what makes them so successful, Colette is going into the wild dog's domain to examine their hunting up close. She's bringing a lure of fresh springbok, but the sight of human flesh will get the dog salivating too, because African wild dogs cannot be tamed.
They are wild. You really have to be careful. You cannot take it lightly. You've always got to keep a lookout, because they're very quick. So it is quite a hairy situation, but we should make it out alive. Hopefully.
Hopefully. It looks like they've already picked up the scent of Colette and the springbok lure.
They're coming.
The hunt is on. And the dogs easily keep pace with the truck.
They can reach speeds of 60 k's per hour, which is incredible.
That's nearly 40 miles per hour, and not as a short sprint. The secret to their hunting success is they can sustain their speed. Prey like antelope can outsprint them, but these dogs maintain their sprint speed for up to 3 miles. Like long-distance cycling teams, they swap the leader to maintain the pace. This dog on the right comes from the back and now takes the lead.
And that's how the pack as a whole really manages to go these long distances that a cheetah could never do, or a leopard, or even a lion.
For the prey, it's like being chased by 10 furry terminators. They just keep coming.
No matter how fast you run, or you think you're running, you're going to tire, you're going to slow down, but these guys are going to keep going. It's relentless.
And as the prey tires, the dogs do something amazing. They communicate with each other. Constant yelps and body language cues send orders across the pack, organizing the hunting party into attack positions.
Their technique is to also round the prey and cut off the weakest. That's exactly what they're doing. They were sort of trying to cut us off as a piece of meat, really.
Dogs move to take out the target, flanking the sides. Others are commanded to sprint forward and head it off.
So this piece of springbok we have here doesn't actually stand a chance.
Wild dogs' killer catching techniques mean that no matter how far you run, there is little chance of escape.
They are Africa's most magnificent, amazing hunters. I'm so lucky to be able to see this in action.
Coming up, why no place is off limits to a rat, and how penguins can comfortably be on ice 24/7. Chicago, the Windy City. Home to bears, cubs, and bulls. Come on in. But there's a new team in town, and they're stepping up and taking over. A recent study claims that Chicago is now the rat capital of America. Many believe in all urban areas we're only ever 6 feet away from one. There's probably one right next to you right now. But why are we always just a few feet away from a rat? There are 56 species of rat, but the best known and most abundant is the brown rat. Brown rats don't live in the wild. Wherever there are humans, they know they'll find bits of old burger, finger-licked chicken, and the occasional loaded hot dog. Not you, sir. And they multiply fast. A female brown rat can produce 12 litters a year, with up to 22 pups each time. Within 3 months, her babies can produce babies, who also produce babies. Which means a single pair of brown rats can have as many as 100 babies and 2,000 descendants in just 1 year. But the fact there are so many only partly explains why we're always so close to them. It seems rats can go anywhere. And I mean anywhere. We've come up with a string of challenges to test just how easy it is for rats to get up close with humans. Meet the challengers, Randy and his rodent buddy, Rocky. First test, how small a hole can a rat get through? Incredibly, rats can squeeze through a hole as small as a quarter. The rat's ribs are hinged at the spine, allowing them to temporarily collapse under the pressure. The general rule is, if its head fits, then the body will follow. Better block up those baseboards. Now, will this chasm stop them? Incredible. Rats can jump 2.5 feet in the air. That's the equivalent of the average man jumping 11 feet off the ground. Handy for finding food in all those high places. These pipes look like a tough climb, but rats can scale almost any vertical surface thanks to their extremely sharp claws, while pushing their backs against the pipe walls to gain traction. Like a rat up a drain pipe. Randy's taking a well-earned breather. But will Rocky take on the high wire challenge? Nice work. Whoa! Rocky nearly fell, but not to worry. He has incredible balance, thanks to his super-sized tail. A rat's tail follows a similar principle as a tightrope walker's pole. It works as a counterbalance. If he tips one way, the tail swings in the opposite direction. This balancing technique allows the rat to run across power lines and into your home. Approaching the final curve, Rocky's committing the ultimate phobic nightmare. A rat can scurry up sewer pipes and into your toilet. Rats are excellent swimmers and can tread water for 3 days. They can even survive being flushed back down because they can hold their breath underwater for 3 minutes. Rats don't always get a good rap, but when it comes to sniffing out food, there's no home, bathroom, or kitchen that's off limits. Which is why Randy and his agile buddies are always just a few feet away. Lunch is on me, fellas. Coming up, a penguin baby with antifreeze feet. Antarctica, the coldest place on Earth. Temperatures down here plummet to a record minus 135.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Imagine standing in those temperatures. Cold yet? Well, now imagine standing there without shoes or socks, just bare feet. After just 2 minutes, without warm blood pumping around your feet, your toes start to freeze and will eventually fall off. But amazingly, there is one animal whose feet are fine in this deep freeze: the penguin. They stand around for months with bare toes, just chilling out. So, why don't penguins' feet freeze? These ice sheets are home to an estimated 40 million penguins. Huge groups of small southern rockhoppers, kings, and the biggest, most iconic, emperors. To keep their bodies warm in the freezing cold, all these brilliant birds have an insulating layer of fat and thick, downy feathers that trap warm air against the skin. Except on their feet. Look at them. Those toes have no feathers, no fat, nothing to keep them warm. Instead, clever internal plumbing keeps their toes toasty. Blood vessels bring cold blood up from the bare feet. Warm blood comes down from the feather-coated body. Where the blood meets, the vessels wrap around each other, allowing the hot blood to warm up the cold blood. It means blood going up into the body isn't cold, and blood pumping down is warm enough to keep their toes from freezing. If you're into science, it's called the countercurrent heat exchange. But when freezing Antarctic blizzards come in, even this biological brilliance needs help. To heat their toes, penguins sit on their backsides to raise their feet off the cold ice and wrap them and their young in their feathers. It's the equivalent of penguin slippers. These feet-warming tactics might not give them a grip on the ice, but it does give them happy feet.